This is a profile on Dr. Michael Simonson, a professional in the field of instructional technology and distance education. In this profile, I will present a brief bio on Dr. Simonson, provide his qualifications and preparation for the position he holds, provide description of his duties for a typical day or week, a description of his professional aspirations, contribution to the field, and what he finds most rewarding about the job he does, and what he finds most challenging. And does his education provide sufficient preparation for the job he holds? And if not so, why not? Dr. Simonson was born in 1945, and he earned his Doctor of Philosophy degree in 1975 at the University of Iowa. His major was in education with instructional system design. His dissertation title is Videotaping of Consonant or Dissonant Student Attitudes, Effects on Subsequent Attitude, Effort, and Achievement. Dr. Simonson's current position is as Program Professor in Instructional Technology and Distance Education at Nova Southeastern University. Additionally, he is the editor for the Quarterly Review of Distance Education and Distance Learning Journal. Dr. Simonson also worked on many grant-funded projects. As program professor, Dr. Simonson has taught many of the ITDE classes. Other than what was stated in the bio, what are the other qualifications that make Dr. Simonson well prepared for the current position that he holds? Dr. Simonson's educational qualification came from the University of Iowa. His Bachelor's of Science was completed in 1967. His major was in History, Government, and Philosophy, and his teaching certifications were in Social Studies, Mathematics, and Social Media Specialists. And his Master of Science was completed in 1972. Major was in Education, with an emphasis in Instructional Media, and his Doctor of Philosophy was completed in 1975, and the major was in Education, and his concentration was in Instructional Systems Design. Dr. Simonson started off his career as a caseworker in New York City Department of Social Services in 1968, then moved on as a captain in the U.S. Marine Corps in 1968 to 1972 as a communications specialist. He then became the Chief Executive Officer in Technology Research and Evaluation Systems in 1996. He then became a professor of curriculum and instruction at the Iowa State University from September 1st, 1982 to 1998. And from 1998, he currently holds the position as Program Professor in Instructional Technology and Distance Education at Nova Southeastern University. Dr. Simonson also has a wealth of resources that he shares on his personal website at Nova at the address www.nova.edu/SIMSMICH. I was able to interview Dr. Simonson, and the following sections provide answers to the following questions. Duties for a typical day or week. What are his professional aspirations? What are his contributions to the field? What are his job rewards and challenges? And does his education prepare him for the job he does? And if not so, why not? Can you briefly describe what are your duties, pretty much what you do on your typical day or week?
When you break it down, I spend about half my time on teaching. I spend about another 15% of my time on scholarship, another 15% of my time on service and community service and committee work, and the remaining time working with adjuncts.
What are your professional aspirations?
There's an overarching goal that I've had, and Dr. Schlosser, my colleague, has also, and that is this idea of distance education, sometimes called e-learning, virtual schooling, has to be conducted in a way that is scientifically supported and academically rigorous.
I believe I read on your resume, but maybe you want to add some additional stuff. You ask about what are your contribution to the field.
Well, any professional such as yourself and myself needs to give back to the field that has given us the opportunity to be involved academically, and so we need to serve on committees. And I'm especially pleased that 32 years ago, I was able to start the proceedings for the Association for Educational Communications and Technology, AECT, one of our parent organizations, and have volunteered to do that for 32 years, and that's become quite a meaningful publication, not only as a artifact of others' research, but as a repository of important information about our field.
What do you find most rewarding about the job you do, and what you may find most challenging?
Well, they're probably one and the same. Rewards often are the ability to overcome challenges. The things that I look at and am extremely pleased about is the fact that I've worked with some extremely talented people over 30 years, and almost all of them are still my friends and colleagues.
Do you consider pretty much the education it provides make you proficiently prepared for the job you do? In what ways not? It may not be.
In our field, there is so much rapid change. I completed my doctorate in 1975, as you know. So when we talk about how we maintain our level of currency and whether or not our academic preparation has been adequate, obviously I've not taken as a person any classes in much of what I'm teaching today. There was no digital media, for example. There were media, but they weren't digital, they were analog. So the foundation issues that are presented to us in our academic preparation, whether we go back to middle school and we learn how to do algebra, or middle school and high school we learn how to write in a clear and correct manner, or whether it's in our graduate programs when the fundamental issues of our field, like instructional systems design, evaluation procedures, leadership skills, production and understanding of how media work, those basic ideas are fundamental and are the underpinning of then what we do as the technologies or the specifics of approaches change over the years as ideas, new innovations are implemented. So if you look back, a person should be able to say, these are basic ideas that I learned that I've been able to modify and translate to help me be prepared for the challenges of today and of the future. So that's how I would summarize things.